Hello and welcome back to my Let's Play of 999. I'm your host, the Ultimate Sprite Knight, and in the last episode some stuff happened. I think we finished up the kitchen level. Yeah, that's what happened. And in this episode, we're going to continue. They stepped out of the kitchen and into a hallway that looked rather familiar. Maybe just all the hallways look like the same. I mean, it's a big ship. They really probably won't waste time coming up with unique designs for each part. I mean, it's just practical to use the same type of paint and design. Plus it looks way better cuz imagine say, here's the blue hallway, here's the polka dot hallway, here's the flaming hallway. That is not good. We should probably put that out. What am I talking about? I don't know. I'll just continue. Ooh, are we in prison now? A metal grate stretched from wall to wall. Beyond it were two elevators and the entrance to the kitchen. They had entered the kitchen from one door and come out the other. That meant their map of the ship's interior was accurate. They laid the map out in front of them and began to discuss their next step. There were four possible routes. A, B, C, and D. First, A and B. A and B both seemed to connect to an L-shaped room. However, the two doors that led to the room were all locked, and there is sounds of a door being jiggled on. Were both locked and could not be opened. Next was route C. This goes all the way to the main staircase. That means it's door 5, one of the numbered doors. Then do you think that we would meet up with the other four after this hallway? No, I don't think we will. Why not? Look, there, by the stairs. See how the gate is opened? When we went into the kitchen, it was closed, but it's open now. What do you think that means? Zero is messing with us by having it so that the gates open and close at random times? They opened it. Most likely. Then if we take route C, we're going backwards. That would be pointless. That means all four looked at the map. Time to go down the deep dark staircase into the unknown. They all looked at the staircase. Its lazy curve leading down deeper into the ship. I mean, just look at that curve. I mean, look at this. Stupid curve better get a job. Route D then. D it is. Yep, route D. Then we're set. So it seems that June and Lotus went route D. And crap, I tried to make that dirty, but I failed to even phrase it right. However, they jogged down the stairs until they reached C deck. It's all white and stuff. Cool. Just to be sure, they kept going to check the deck beneath. Ah, crap, it's water. Maybe we'll find scuba gear. Yep, just like I thought. Deck D is totally underwater. Just like the bottom of the central staircase. The water gazed back at them, its smooth surface covered in eyes like a great mirror. As ominous as it was, Junpei took at least some comfort in the fact that the level hadn't gone up much since the last time he'd seen it. They turned back to C deck. It didn't take them long to find the two elevators in front of the stairs, mostly because they were right in front of where they came down. They looked identical to the elevators on the top floor, with one exception. These elevators had a card reader in between them. On the wall in between them. Between them. Why do I keep saying in? On the card reader was a strange mark. Hey, it must be a lotus symbol. Hey look, it's Lotus' symbol. Huh? See, it's the woman's symbol with a thorn on it. That seems like violence noises. Ouch, 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 ouch. Several curse words. Bleep. Lotus had taken hold of Junpei's hair. She began to shake him violently, and he thought he heard a low growl coming from her throat. Such violence! Junpei began to wonder if she was not the devil itself. With an uncomfortable smile, June spoke up. This is a Mercury symbol. The thorn symbol symbolizes the wings on Hermes' staff. Why are you switching between Mercury and Hermes? Do Greek or Roman, June? You can't do both. Hermes, herpes, whatever. What? If we can't get this thing to work, these elevators aren't going anywhere. In other words, we need a keycard with the Mercury symbol on it. Probably. They gave up on the elevator and returned to the stairs. A hallway stretched out to the left. Ooh, doors! A great many doors lined both sides of the hallway. They weren't sure how many. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. There is 18 times 2, so 40 minus 4. There's 36 doors. Also, I didn't actually count them because right around here they just become gibberish. They weren't sure how many, but certainly enough to be discouraging. Damn it! If we try and search all these, the sun's gonna go down before we're done. We've done half of them. Wait, hold on. What time is it right now? Oh wait, no, it is daytime. The sun won't go down. We will drown before the sun comes down. It's like early morning right now, Santa. I think the sun already set, what? I have a feeling the ship is the only thing that's going to be down anytime soon. That's even worse! Ah, crap, I don't want to drown. Well, we can come back to this hallway later. Let's check the hallway on the other side, shall we? Frustration and fear building. They walked back to the stairs. To their right was a small hallway. Quickly, they headed into it. It was approximately the same size as the alcove in front of the stairs. The hallway led to the stern, and at its end was a set of double doors. Let's open it. Junpei nodded and grabbed the one closest to him. He gave it a small tug and felt it move. It was unlocked. Thrilled to have found an unlocked door, he threw it open. Door opening noises, and Junpei didn't know what to make of what he saw. Well, obviously doors 7 and 8. And door 3, cool. And door no number, even cooler. He simply stood, unable to speak. The others simply stared, open-mouthed. After a few long moments, Santa managed to speak. What the hell is this? A room on the Titanic, obviously. A massive room stretched out in front of them. More a cavern than a room. Its vastness was oppressive, and it bore down on the 4 companions. It was not empty, however. The entire room was filled with lines upon lines of beds. They were simple things, little more than pipe and thin mattresses. Is this a hospital? He had at least been able to put a name to the harsh scent that pervaded the room. The room swam with harsh, biting smell of antiseptic. In the center of the room were shelves stacked with medicine, a number of medical devices the function of which Junpei did not know. More importantly, however, on the back wall of the room were 4 doors. 3 of them were emblazoned with large single-digit numbers made with thick red paint. 3. The door on the left was labeled 3. The second door from the left had no number, but the third had been given a 7. And the last had an 8. There could be no doubt they were numbered doors. Dun, dun, dun. It did strike Junpei as strange, however, that the door between 3 and 7 should be blank. What, he wondered, could it mean? That there's a lot of doors on such a big boat and only 9 of them can have paint on them? Let's take a look at the doors. Yes, that sounds like a good plan. Also, so all 9 can go through the doors are set up so that all the numbers add up to 9. For example, 5 and 4, 3, 7, and 8. Or not add up to 9, but have a digital row of 9. And it would be really, really hard to get it so you had 4 doors that gave you a digital root of 9 plus. I don't know if that would leave you, well, it would leave you with enough for the final set of doors, but then you would only have 2 rather than the 3 that there's gonna be. Or maybe you would have to introduce 9 into the mix somewhere, and I'm just rambling. Yes, that sounds like a good plan. What's the plan again? I forgot because it was rambling. Junpei headed towards the door, weaving his way between the beds. He started with door 3 on the left and moved to the right until he reached door 8. Banging noises. More banging noises. Even more banging noises. The type of noises that your mother made last night. Get it? Because banging noises. It's no use. Well, of course. If it was that easy to open these doors, what would be the point of the nonary game? We have to activate the red, or the numbered doors won't... Wait a minute. What's wrong? Look, at the display on the red. There's nothing on it. Huh? Don't you remember? The red at the central staircase? If no one was inside it, it said, break it. Oh yeah, you're right. But this one... There's nothing on it, right? I wonder if it's broken. Only one way to find out. You know, they probably should have realized after it didn't light up after Junpei, and probably should have definitely realized after Santa, but no, let's just try all four. It took them a minute to figure anything out. It didn't respond. All four took turns placing their hands over the red, but it refused to respond. They pulled at the lever, and still it did nothing. As they soon discovered, it wasn't only the red for door 8 that was behaving strangely. The red on door 7 also refused to respond. And door 3 was similarly silent. None of them would respond. What did it mean? Haha, I knew it. They're broken. Why are you happy about that? You're gonna drown! You're sure sucks at maintenance. This is not funny. We're gonna drown. Are you Zero? Are you being coy about your suckiness and maintenance while you imagine us drowning? I am genuinely curious. No, that's impossible. Really think, Zero, you prepared all of this. Will make such a stupid, simple mistake? Well, I mean, look at door 3. Zero sucks at painting. Maybe Zero's kind of crappy at some stuff, like maintenance. It's so you can make a good plan, but if you forget simple parts of the plan, it can go wrong. And I'm going on a tangent again. Maybe, but that doesn't explain why this thing ain't working. It was at that moment they heard a voice from behind them. I believe the bottom of this device has been removed. How would you know? Snake? Also, hi Snake, when'd you get here? Have you been watching us this whole time? Well, not watching, because you're kind of blind, but you know what I mean. They spun around to see... Snake! Snake! But it was more than just Snake. There was a whole bunch of snakes that soon devoured the 3 companions, and also Lotus. Ace, Clover, and Seven quickly fled into the room as well. Where are they fleeing from, I wonder? Although they were glad to see one another, it wasn't terribly surprising that they had. Wait, where were they this whole time? If it had been the other party who'd opened the gate in front of the kitchen, it wasn't unreasonable that they bump into one another eventually. The rest of Snake's team, however, did look rather surprised. How? How did you end up here? After a moment of silence and surprises, everyone suddenly began to talk, desperate to exchange information. They talked about the rooms they'd been through, and how they'd ended up in the same place. Unfortunately, they didn't tell each other the solutions to the puzzles, because that would make the game too easy. Of course, none of it was very useful information, except for, you know, what the puzzles that we missed were, but that hardly mattered. They were happy to simply see I can't talk, so why do I do this? Although the level of cheer varied greatly from person to person. I mean, like, Clover was ecstatic, Seven was like, meh. Although the level of cheer varied greatly from person to person, each one of them was wearing some manner of smile, especially Santa, because he's a tad bit sadistic. Almost as though they had already forgotten about the death of the 9th man. Well, I mean, who cares about the 9th man? He sucks. No, thought Junpei. Perhaps that wasn't it. Perhaps the thoughts of his death were what drove them to smile at one another. My God. Santa isn't the only sadistic one. Not in a morbid or hateful way. No, the 9th man had died. But they were still alive. And that was something to be happy about. A sort of simple, uncomplicated joy. Junpei thought, the joy of being alive. Still alive. And also now want you gone. I want you gone. Only want you gone. Portal reference. He felt sorry for the ninth man, but more than anything, Junpei was just happy to be alive. Oh, give the game a few minutes, Junpei. Well, not a few minutes, few episodes. Just wait a few episodes, Junpei. There you have it. Our half of the story. His part finished, Ace fell silent. For a moment, Junpei was silent, in thought. Then he spoke. Okay, let me see if I got this all straight. When you guys got here, the bases for the Reds were already gone. And you looked all over this room, but you couldn't find anything. So you figured that there might be something in the hallway with all the doors. So you went and had a look? Yeah. And while you were looking around, you heard voices? Uh-huh. So you followed the voices and came back here? Indeed. And that was how we found you. Junpei examined the three Reds again, just in case they magically started working in the past 5 seconds. On the bottom of each was a long, thin gap. It looked like a slot for something. Probably something electronic, considering it's, a machine. Well, this isn't good. If the red is inactive, we can't keep going. Well, what about the hallway over there? Isn't there anywhere else we can go? No, there isn't. There are plenty more hospital rooms, but nothing else. Hospital rooms? That's what's behind all those doors? Yes, there are a number of individual rooms, in addition to this large one. There was a door at the end of the hallway, but it was locked. There was an astrological symbol engraved near the keyhole, however. I was able to get a good, feel of it. I believe it was the symbol of Jupiter. Not again. Those goddamn things are everywhere. I hate the Roman gods. Why do their symbols have to be on this ship? Maybe this is a clue. Maybe Zero's Italian. I mean, pretty sure every single person in this game, with the possible exception of 7, is Japanese. Wait. Maybe 7's Italian, which means 7 is Zero. I wonder what they all mean. For a moment, everyone was silent, deep in thought. While we're asking what things mean, what's the deal with this room? I mean, what's the deal with it? That was supposed to be Jerry Seinfeld. I thought this was a cruise ship. I can't imagine a cruise ship that would have a hospital like this. Maybe they just go through really rough waters and everyone gets seasick. Or maybe the captain randomly stabs people. There's lots of reasons. I mean, it's Zero's ship. There's probably lots of weird things that goes on in here. Of all the people, it was 7 who answered, and with calm confidence. Well, I figure it's probably a hospital ship. Chances are, it's the Gigantic. The Gigantic? I mean, it is kind of big, but I wouldn't call it gigantic. I mean, modern cruise ships are way bigger than the 7. Junpei looked confused. So did everyone else. What is the Gigantic? 7 knit his brow a moment and then began to explain. The Gigantic was a really big ship. Almost humongously big. He explained that she had been a sister ship to the Titanic, built in the early 20th century. The Titanic had 2 sister ships who were identical to one another in every aspect. The Gigantic was said to be one of them. She was initially intended to be a passenger liner, like the Titanic, but soon after the ship was launched, the First World began, and she was pressed into duty by the British Navy as a hospital ship. Sometime later, the Gigantic was damaged by a German mine in the Aegean Sea. She managed to run aground after the incident, and consequently was not sunk. Also, fun fact, the Gigantic, not a real ship. However, the Titanic did in real life have 2 sister ships, the Britannic and the Olympic. One of them, I think it was the Britannic, actually did become a prison ship, but it sank after hitting a mine. A mine. Well, it might have hit a mine, but it probably kept going. I mean, unless the mine actually had powers and could make force fields. But that's unlikely. What then happened to the Gigantic after a fateful encounter in the Aegean Sea? One theory ran that a man named Lord Gordain purchased her. Lord Gordain, it seemed, had been one of the few survivors of the Titanic tragedy. Also, he didn't exist in real life, if you were wondering. And that trauma had turned him into an obsessive collector of all things related to the Titanic. As his obsession deepened, he began to desire the Titanic itself. That, of course, was impossible. Or was it? The Titanic lay at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean, as far as you know. The Gigantic, however, had not suffered such a dire fate, and she was identical to her sister ship. So she caught Lord Gordane's eye, and I keep misreading things like an idiot. So I slapped myself. So you're saying this Lord Gordane bought this ship? Yeah, at least I think I am. That's impossible. No way we're in some boat that's almost 100 years old. Almost? What do you mean, almost? This is 2027, man. I mean, Fair Game came out in 2009, and given the lack of real sci-fi technology, with one exception, it does make sense that the creators thought this game probably took place in 2009. The only reason that it was later revealed that took place in 2007 is because in an interview prior to the creation of the second game, it was revealed by the game's creator, plus the second game takes place in 2028, which is only so second game can have sci-fi technology, which this game lacks with the one exception. Anyway, there goes that tangent. Pipe down! Where's the pipe? Oh god, what happened to Pipe? Why is he down? Did he get shot? Just pay attention. What? That's it? Well, have you got any proof? Well, it's a hospital ship that looks like the Titanic. That's a pretty good reason to think this. Proof? Proof that this ship is really the Gigantic? Well, this ship's got stuff that's like the Titanic and a hospital ship. So I just figured, oh, for goodness, don't tell me that's your only reason. No, I've got more. Like, Seven looked around desperately, trying to do anything to avoid meeting Lotus's piercing stare. He scratched his head for a moment, then gave up. Finally, he opened his mouth. I don't know. What do you mean, dunno? No. That should be spelled with an O because second game. Lotus sighed and shook her head. I guess your memory isn't back yet, is it? Yeah, sorry about that. Hey! Wait a minute. Memory isn't back? Junpei was, he felt, legitimately shocked by what seemed to be new and very important information. Everyone else, however, seemed unimpressed. In fact, they all looked at Junpei as though he had said something very strange. He decided to revise his attitude for the next question. Wait, was I with... Why did no one tell me? This is a very important plot point. There's nothing more suspicious than someone who has amnesia. Like, now I think 7's probably 0, because that's too convenient. You should have told me this earlier so I could have made jokes about it. Everyone nodded. Why? Oh yeah, I guess I really didn't tell you, huh? I told the rest of them before we ran into you on the stairs. I told them I couldn't remember a damn thing from before I woke up. What? Then almost as if to save Junpei from further embarrassment. Dong, dong, dong. A bell began to ring from far away. It sounded as though it was the clock at the main stairway. Junpei counted each time, carefully. 10, 11 dong, 12 dong. It's midnight o'clock. Or noon, but if it's noon, we would probably drown by now. It's midnight. Then we've got 6 hours left, right? We don't have any time to screw around. Let's get going. We gotta find the missing parts for the Reds. What do you mean, find? How on earth do you propose we do that? We've looked everywhere in this room. That only leaves one place to look. One? Well, I guess that's not really right. By one, I meant 40. Wait! Don't tell me you mean we need to search all of these other rooms. Well, give me an estimate of how many rooms there are, then I can divide by 8 and tell you how many rooms apiece we got. Don't freak out, we already searched 4 of them. 4 rooms. We just have to split up the rest between the 8 of us. If each person does 6 rooms, that'll be 48 rooms, right? So there are 48 rooms left. Earlier experience apparently had not encouraged Lotus to trust 7. 7 scratched his head. Hey, I was very close with that estimate of 46. 7 scratched his head awkwardly. Oh no. Oh, never mind. After a little more discussion, they split up and head toward the rooms to begin searching them. Junpei was chosen to search the rooms on the starboard side, moving from fore to aft. I know what some of those words mean. They also determined when they would return to report their findings the next time the clock sounded the time. When it did, they would meet back in the large central room full of beds. If, during the search, any one of them were to locate the missing components, they would yell for the others. If this strategy failed, they would return and discuss their options later. The details decided, they left to begin searching. Out into the hallway they went, each to the rooms they'd been assigned. However, dong. From far away, Junpei heard a bell ring. It did only once. It was 1 a.m. Door closing noise. Walking noise! More walking noise. Door opening noise! And he jogged through the entrance of the large hospital room to find 6 of the others already there. Oh god, who's late? Ace, Santa, Clover, June, 7, Lois. What? I would think that 7 would be on time. Or Snake. They had all gathered in front of door number 8. Or perhaps to be accurate, they had gathered in front of the red next to door number 8. And one of them found the missing piece? Judging by the camera angle, you would think that 3 would be closer. What happened, guys? It was June who answered him. Junpei, look! She was pointing at the red. He pushed through the others until he stood in front of it. OMG! This place is vacant! Vacant! Immediately, he knew what she had meant. The display on the front of the red read vacant. Junpei sighed. Come on, guys, who was it? I thought we were supposed to yell if we found it. Well, Junpei wondered why she was hesitating. The others looked as confused as June, but they kept their mouths shut. What the hell? What's wrong with you guys? Oh, that's a scarf, not part of her shirt. I just noticed that. They all knew something he didn't, and Junpei wasn't about to leave things that way. Finally, Lois frowned and spoke. Well, that's the thing. We don't know. You don't know? When I got back, it's already like this. There was no one else here. That means I was the first one back, but the missing parts were already back in the red. Suspenseful music. Junpei looked at the bottom of the red again, just to make sure. The slot that had been open on the bottom was now covered in metal. With metal. Words. Clearly, whatever had been missing had been returned. What about the other 2? They're the same. Oh, they went to 3 first, then 7, then 8. That makes sense. Junpei quickly examined the other boxes. OMG. He's satisfied now. Satisfied that they were also repaired, but still very confused. He returned to the others. Alright, I just want to be sure here. Nobody had any idea what the hell happened here, right? Ace and June nodded silently. 7 raised his hands as if to say, not me, and Santa just shrugged. Only Clover lowered her head and did nothing. Huh? Wait a minute. That was when he noticed. Where's Snake? I shouldn't have made a joke about Snake being missing immediately, because it would have been good to leave the audience to, sort of wait a minute, where's Snake? Halfway through my rambling, Junpei swept his eyes across the room a second time, but Snake was nowhere to be seen. Does that mean he found them? I have no idea. There's nothing to suggest it, but nothing to suggest he didn't either. I don't suppose we'll know until we can ask him in person. Well, whatever he did or didn't do, he's pretty damn late. What the hell is he up to? Maybe he's lost. I mean, he can't really see. Maybe he accidentally tripped into the watery part and drowned. We should go check there. Yeah, well, that seems likely. You can't see. I don't know how he gets around in the first place. Clover raised her head. Punching noise against metal. No, that's impossible. Suddenly, she was shouting. Yeah, my brother is blind, but he's got really great hearing. He can get around as well as anyone who can see. In fact, his hearing's so great that he, in the middle of the night, fights crime as the masked superhero, Snake Man. You thought I was going to say Daredevil, but I'm not that cheap. I wasn't going to say Daredevil, but then I realized I could make a better joke, but that wasn't really a bad joke. Let's go back to the dark plot points. So he He couldn't get lost. That's impossible. Clover had started to shake, but the knuckles of her hands had gone white. She spun around, but before she did, Junpei noticed that tears were welling up in her eyes. I'm gonna go look for him. The words were barely out of her mouth when she began to run. Hey! Hold on, Clover! Wait! Junpei cried out to her, but he was too slow. She kept going, and before anyone else could react, she was gone. And I think that's going to be it for this episode. Thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, my name is the Ultimate Sprite Knight, signing off. Peace.